In a land where time stands still and stones speak, there lived a people who called their kings gods. His name was Tutankhamun. He ascended the throne at just 9 years old, at a moment when Egypt was on the brink of collapse. His father had banished the ancient gods, bringing chaos. The little king had to undo the mistakes of the past. Before it was too late, under his reign, Egypt began to shine once more. Temples reopened, and gold began to flow like the waters of the Nile. He wasn't just a ruler. He was a boy seeking happiness within the golden walls of the palace, alongside his queen. But being a god on earth comes at a price. Shadows were lengthening in the corridors of power. Ambitious advisors and power-hungry generals watched him grow with fear. A strong king was an obstacle to them. Then, suddenly, at just 18 years old, the king's heart stopped beating. Accident or betrayal? They prepared him for the eternal journey in haste. Hiding him in a small tomb in the Valley of the Kings, his successors did something terrible. They erased his name from every monument. They wanted the world to forget him. For 3,000 years, Tutankhamun slept in silence, protected by the sand and oblivion, until one man, driven by obsession, found a single small step hidden beneath the rubble. When they asked him what he saw, he replied with 3 words that shook the world: wonderful things. It was the richest tomb ever discovered. The forgotten king had returned to reclaim his crown, but along with the gold, Carter had awakened something else. A curse that would strike anyone who dared disturb the pharaoh's sleep. The seal had remained intact for 3,200 years. But human curiosity is stronger than any lock. It is said that above the door hung an inscription: death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the sleep of the pharaoh. They were not alone. Tutankhamun's sentinels were there, motionless, protecting their lord even through time itself. At the center of the room rose a mountain of gold. 4 shrines nested within one another like an infinite secret. When the final lid was lifted, the world stopped. Inside lay not just a body, but a masterpiece. 100 kilograms of solid gold to protect a boy. The greatest treasure ever beheld by human eyes. But just months after the discovery, the darkness began to strike. Lord Carnarvon died suddenly under mysterious circumstances. At the exact moment of his death, every light in Cairo went out. The pharaoh's curse was no longer just a legend. Scientists began to investigate. The mummy showed signs of a blow to the head. Was it a hunting accident or cold-blooded murder? 20 others linked to the tomb died strange deaths. The world began to tremble at the mere name of Tutankhamun, and yet, among the treasures were messages of love, not hate. Perhaps the king only wanted his story to finally be told. The sands tried to hide the secrets once more, but by then, the veil had been torn away. The boy king's face looked out at the 20th century with one question: why did you wake me? Was the curse real, or just a series of tragic coincidences? Perhaps the pharaoh was simply protecting his final piece. Today, Tutankhamun is the most famous mummy on the planet. But his true story has yet to reveal its final, incredible secret. After a century of myths and curses, science decided to question the king. We wanted the truth about his last breath. No conspiracy, perhaps. The machines revealed a broken leg and a terrible infection. A simple hunting accident for a god on earth. The world's most powerful ruler defeated by his own human fragility. The boy king was, after all, just a boy beneath the gold. We found a face we might recognize today. A boy who loved his family and his people. Among the most precious treasures, Carter found a small bouquet of wildflowers. The last goodbye from his young bride. Still there after 3,000 years, more than gold. It was love that traveled through time. A bond that the sands could not break. Today, Tutankhamun is no longer a hidden secret. He has become the face of antiquity, an ambassador of a lost world. His treasure has traveled the globe, reminding us that beauty and art are the only things that never truly die. The Egyptians believed that by speaking the name of the dead, one made them immortal. His enemies wanted to erase him, but by trying to forget him, they made him eternal. Tutankhamun won his battle against oblivion. The boy king still reigns today. In our dreams and in our curiosity, the sun still rises over the Nile, just as it did 3,000 years ago, and the pharaoh's story continues to flow with it. This was the legend of Tutankhamun. What mystery from the past do you want to awaken in the next video? Subscribe so you don't miss it.